we're out here salmon fishing today, guys. We're doing Chinook salmon. It's the big runs are coming down from Alaska, and I get a lot of questions on how to downrig, the gear that we're using, how we're using. So I'm going to go over in this video how I downrig, the gear that we use, how to set it up, and try to get you guys some fish. I did put a rod, my one side, usually I troll 2 rods, most people do. I set one up just so we're fishing. I don't want to be out here just making tutorials and not catching fish. The whole point of my channel is because I love to catch fish. So that's why I got this set up here. I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to get this tutorial going for you guys. This is a Scotty Downrigger. Now, a lot of you guys might have heard the term downrigging. This is what it is. This unit here has a little motor in it, and what it does is it's going to allow me to fish suspended depths. Now, these salmon are chasing the herring or the needlefish or whatever they're chasing, and they are all through the water column at any time. You can catch these fish in 30 feet of water. You can catch them in 300 feet, even more. So this unit, this downrigger here, allows us to get down to those fish. Now, how it works, we're going to start from the bottom. This is your cannonball, we call this. This is just one big hunk of weight, lead, and there's this little fin on there, and that just so it swims naturally in the water when we're trolling this, and it doesn't allow it to spin like this. Okay. Next we got, it's called a snubber. Now this rubber snubber here that we put on there, it gives it a little flex. So if you're trolling near the bottom, which is a really good technique for spring salmon, if this thing starts bouncing the bottom and gets hung up, that's going to give us a little bit of give, so that we're not getting snagged up in the bottom and losing your gear, because this stuff's quite expensive. We don't want to lose our gear. Next is just this black stopper. This is just to make sure that we don't get our snubber in our clip as it comes through this first pulley. That's what this black stopper here is for. And this rope here, this is just added strength to the first half of the rope. These are high performance. These are the Scotty's kind of top end downriggers. They've got digital displays and stuff like that. But if you take this off, if your motor ever breaks, this here is a manual handle, and you can put it into the you can put it in there like that, and then you can manually work this. Say if something happens and you need to get your line in really quick, that's what that's for. And there's just a belt here, and this is a 3-part system, but it's just simple. You don't need to get into all that. If your downrigger does break, Scotty does have a good warranty. It is a lifetime warranty. If something mechanically breaks on these things, parts are pretty easy. Your local store should be able to get it fixed for you. Now, I'm gonna get this back on. Like I said earlier, this is their higher end. This has a digital screen. Now, if you want to come over here and take a look, there's just 2 buttons. There's your light for dark, and there's your 0 and power button. Now, what I like to do every time, get it at your water level, and you want to 0 this out. Click it there. Now you got 0. Okay, now this is your brake handle. Now as you pull this, you don't want to go real fast. You don't want to just hammer it open, but I like to keep my thumb on the wheel as it spins, and as you're lowering this, if you look at the counter, it's going to drop and drop and drop. And this is going to allow you to put your cannonball at any depth you'd like. You know, you're driving around, if you're seeing bait at 110, 120, 130, whatever it may be. Another important piece of this here is when you get down to the braided, these are stoppers. Now, in this here, in your on-off button, these stoppers will automatically stop from going. So say if you're pulling up this side really quickly, you're working on the other side, I'll show you here. You can just turn this downrigger on to bring it up, and that stopper will stop yours from pulling it up too far. I always put 2 just in case one of them fails. You put a double stopper in there. That will save you some time, save you some money and some time on the water. This green button here, like I said, if you're down deep, you can automatically turn these on. You can leave it. You'll have your stoppers there to stop it. Or if you're grabbing the rod and you're just kind of reeling it in as you go, that's also good. But as you get close, and say I'm putting this away today, and I put it in my cannonball holder, and I just want to tighten this line up a bit, I could just hit that green button and lift it up in small increments. That's also a good little feature on these. Okay, so I've went over all the gear. Now let's get into setting these things up. Now these are Scotty Clips. Okay, so you've got the steel clip, which is going to go to your downrigger main line, and your pinch clip that's going to go to your fishing line. So this goes like this. You know, there are some guys that put it on their downrigger. There's guys that put it further up. There's different ways to do this. Me personally, I come to the top of my snubber and I put it there. These clips also come in different sizes, depending on if you've got your boom extended and how big your boat is and how far off the side of the boat. So there's all kinds of other stuff like that. I'm sure you can find other videos on how to do all that stuff, but this is just simply how to run these downriggers and how to get started and start catching some fish. So I use a short leader. This is I believe a 30-inch clip. So we put that on there, and now we're set. We got all our gear. All our gear is all set. We're ready to go. We're ready to grab a fishing line. I'm going to grab a rod, and I'm going to show you guys how to set this up. So now we're going to set this rod up. Like I said earlier, we got all our stuff set up. We're zeroed out on this. We're reading 0. I've got my downrigger clip ready, my cannonball. Everything's ready to go. So we'll bring it over to the side of the boat here. Don't want to drop it there, okay? Use that green button, get it nice near the top. There we go. Okay, so leader length. This varies depending on what you're fishing and stuff. Right now I'm using a flasher. A lot of guys want to put 30, 40 feet. I personally don't. I mean, I think it kind of starts to helicopter a little bit is what I call it, where the flasher will float if you're late. So I like to stick to about a 15 to 20 foot lead off the cannonball. Again, guys, you're going to find different strategies and stuff. This is just what I do, and it works. So I got my flasher and my lure about 15 feet out. I'm going to go like this. You'll see a lot of guys putting their reels back in here, and I don't like to put the reels on. These are expensive, especially this brand new one here, but I like to keep the rod in my hand. I don't want people stepping on the reels. Accidents happen. So what I do is I simply twist the rod back, and as the line comes towards me, look at, now I've got it. Nice and easy. I didn't put the rod down, nothing. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to grab that string here. Put it in the rod holder. Okay, I got here. Reach over. Here's the clip. Now you got two different settings on this clip. One's going to be stronger than the other. I like to use the stronger clip, the stronger side of the option. And because I'm fishing deep today, I'm going to bury it. Very, very rarely will you use less than half the clip. 3/4 to the full clip is what you want to do. You bury it in there, drop your line. Now you've got your lure. You want to make sure your lure's running properly. I'm going to loosen my drag up to a nice easy pull. You want to make sure your line at the tip is not tangled, and then you're going to slowly start to drop your cannonball again. Use your thumb. I like to use your thumb because it gives you a good idea. Now, depending on where you want to fish, you're going to drop that cannonball down. Today I'm fishing at, I don't know, 180 feet. So I'm going to slowly drop, always keeping your eye on the rod tip to make sure that you're not tangled up, because if you get tangled up, you're going to either A, break your rod, or B, you're going to pop it out of that clip. So I'm going to drop it down to the depth that I want to fish today. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to tighten my drag up again. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank this down. Now you're going to have slack between the tip of your rod and that clip, and there. And the key is to have is least amount of line between the tip and the clip. So when that fish bites and it pulls it out, you don't have all that extra line in the reel or in the distance to make up, because as soon as that fish bites and it pops, you want to get on that fish and you want to make sure you get a hook set on him. So I'm going to crank this down. Now sometimes if you're not doing it properly, you're going to pop that clip out and you're going to have to start over. That's just being out here, having the experience and learning your clips and just doing it over. Repetition will get you really used to this stuff. But once it's down there, I like to crank that rod down quite a bit. Now we're good. We're fishing.